So, of course,
Okay.
Ivone is the lead panelist for this topic. So, Ivone, it's not going to be that simple. You can't come in right now. I have to first put up the flyer to your event, to your session, and then. But up till then, Ivone, you want to tell us a little bit about the conference?
Sorry?
Something about the conference, if you want to tell us.
Oh,
Anything.
I would like to share my screen because then I can initiate my.
Now, first you have to tell us about the conference. So Ivone has already spoken in Portuguese on mediation in small and medium enterprises. A session was really nice, and I said she must do it in English also. So this is why we are doing the English session. But Ivone, about the conference, anything that you have watched, anything sessions that you watched, anything you want to tell us about the conference?
No. Now today I will do my speech in English as you asked me.
Yeah.
And I would like to begin and share my screen.
Please do that.
May I?
Yeah, please.
Okay, thank you.
No one wants to talk about the conference. That's the problem. I want people to talk about the conference.
I see.
Yep.
Well, my speech will be about mediation in a small and medium-sized Brazilian family. At first, I would like to thank you again, Vikram, for inviting me to be here in this important World Mediation Conference 2023.
Thank you very much for being part of it. Thank you.
Alongside such important people like Rosalia, etc. Then I would like to thank to the listener because they are here, and I wish them a productive time. My presentation will be about mediation in small and medium-sized Brazilian family business. I said Brazilian, but I suppose that everything that I will talk here can apply to the other small and medium-sized company in all the world and all the sectors. I am talking about companies that has gross sales up $100 million in case of Brazil. And my agenda, this is my little CV, who can see.
It's not little, Ivone, that's not little. That's not little, and it's a very impressive CV.
Thank you very much. But it's little. I think that compared with your CV and Rosalia, certainly my CV is very little.
My CV is the smallest, very little, very little. Mediator, advocate, golfer, peacemaker. That's it. Nothing more than that.
And the problem is because I have my side in academic center and I write books, etc., etc. Then I needed to always stay together with the schools, etc. You know, that's why I.
But all I can say is that your jacket is very nice.
Yeah, I thank you. Thank you very much. Well, my agenda will be about 10 topics. Who are they, this company? How are they? And how do family business evolve? What are the roles of family members in family business? How are family members? How do conflicts arise and evolve? What happens in this business? And what solutions can be considered? How to address them? The role of mediation and conciliation? Where can mediation take place? Where can mediators operate? And how can mediation evolve? I promise that it will last only 30 minutes. It's not a big presentation. Well, what are they? In Brazil, they represent 90% of all Brazilian private companies. They generate 35% of the gross domestic product, and they employ 75% of the country's workforce. And how are they? Generally, in three types. Traditional family business, they have always closed capital, representing about 8% of the family business. That will be our focus here. Hybrid traditional business, they are publicly traded, but with family control. And business with family influence. They are publicly traded without family control, but with a significant influence from the founder or a family member in key position. Well, how family evolves, business evolve? In generally, we have three moments. Each company, of course, has his own pace, but in the first moment, the focus is on the business, in growing the company, and in the subsistence of the family. Generally, this company begins with two brothers, husband and wife, two cousins, etc. In the second moment, the company is growing, they are creating increasing profits, and now they are focusing on the family, not only in the business. The family grows and wants to maintain the same standard that they had. Then, in this moment, more people arrive in the company. Sometimes are members of the family, friends, that arrive in the company, gained high salaries, more than people that are there doing the same thing, and in the executive position that they are not prepared. Then, slowly, the company will leave the third moment. There is the exhaustion of the company in profit creation, and the company is sacrificed. The company cash flow is compromised, and the business declining because they are facing more expenditure than they can support. Then this is the third moment. And how I can represent this? Always I use this traditional three overlap circles. In number one, there is the family, only the family members. The second, only the owners. In the three, only employees, executive or non-executive. 4, family and owners. 5, owners and employees. 6, family and employees. And 7, family, employees, and owners. Depending on this member of the family is, he will have different sides of the company. For example, if one is only in the circle 1 or circle 2, they prefer divide or distribute all the profits that the company has. But if he is in the 5 circles, for example, he will balance the profit, distribute it to the members of the family and to investments, because they have another side, and different sides of the company. But there is not only this difference. There is difference in personality. Based in the study of Catherine Cook-Briggs and her daughter, Isabel Briggs-Meyers, they have created the MBTI classification, is Myers-Briggs Type Indicator, that is based in a theory of Carl Jung. And there are people that are introverted, they prefer solitary activity. Extroverted, they prefer group activity. Intuitive, they are creative. Observant, they are practical, focused on what has happened. Thinkers, they focus on objectivity and rationality. They are feelers, focus on harmony and cooperation. They are judges. They have focus in clear rules, explorers. They keep option open always, and assertive. They are emotionally stable and cautious, with focus on success and perfection. Of course, each one, in each moment of the company, they are very important because they think in right way in that moment of the company. But there is another true difference. There are gender difference. Nowadays, we will not have only the male and the female gender. You have more different gender that the society accepts, and they think different. You know, they think completely different. And there is generational difference because people live longer and different generations coexist simultaneously. Grandfather, father, children, grandchildren, everybody are in the same time at the same company. Then, of course, there is many conflicts that arise in this situation. And how do conflicts arise? When the role played in the company by each member, when they meet with difference in personality, gender difference, generational difference, and temporal coexistence. Always it happens. And when the conflicts manifest, of course, in decision-making at a different stage of the company, because that first, second, and third moment, the companies have the necessity to be different decisions. And in different stages of the company, people need to decide in different way, but people don't change. People are they are, as they are. And in this company too, there is excess of informality. There is not clear rules inside the company about partners, friendship, and about governance. This is the most important thing. And the communication failure. In the communication line, there is always what I think, what I say, what you hear, what you understand, what you answer, and what I understand. So you see, it's a completely mess when this communication line is not very clear. And there is accumulation of personal dissatisfaction because people don't like to say everything that they think, avoid the conflicts or to bore people. And as a consequence, there will be unsaid things, repressed emotion, betrayals, even in sentimental area. And at last, there is a sabotage of the life project. I have a mediation in the past with many companies that the father didn't agree with the professional choice of his children. Then, again, the conflicts arise. And what happened to the company? The preservation of the cash flow is forgotten because debts are rising. Reinvestment in the company declines because the priority now in this moment, more or less, is always in the second or third moment of the company, that I said before. The innovation is neglected, the competitiveness decreasing, and the families are unable to sustain themselves through the company. The conflicts arise from different ways of managing a company, and always struggles to acquire formal and managerial control of the company. Losses emerge, profits is threatened, always. And they are going rapidly to the third moment. And what is the consequence? disagreement about governance because the value of the people are not the same as in the beginning. There is disagreement about hierarchy. The line of the command line is get confused, and the employees don't know anymore who commands the company. There is disagreement about dividends and salaries. I said before, disagreement about preference and meritocracy, as I said before too. And at the end, there is a dissolution of partnership. And in this moment, is obliged to quantify the value of the company. Then, in this moment, there are many conflicts because each person thinks that the company value more than really they value in that moment. And what are the alternative approach? Separate the family from the business, because before, the family used to put on the company all their expenditure, but now they need to live only with salary and dividends. It's necessary to separate. Changing the relationship among partners, because now the company has new partners. They need to change the organizational structure, operational changes. And it is the moment that there is the transition from the family business to a business family. It is time of professionalization. And how to address these conflicts? Always in two ways, judicial and non-judicial solution. It depends on the advice from attorneys. In judicial solution, always there are more time and cost to resolve. Only resolves the conflicts that have been brought to court. Resentments remain, and the relationship remains quarrelsome always, and they continue to fight. In extrajudicial solution, there are less time and lower costs to resolve, can comprehensively address all existing conflicts, because in mediation we can talk about everything, and can address emotion, allowing for a new type of relationship. And this is the moment of mediation or conciliation. Using specific techniques, discovering hidden reasons that make it easier to resolve conflicts. There is possibility of jointly devising solutions with everyone involved. And as a consequence, there will be the empowerment of the family and family members. And it is possible renewed growth of a family business, transforming them into business family. I may say that in Brazil, mediation and conciliation is different. Mediation, Vikram asked me about this before. Conciliation in Brazil is a conflict that there isn't prior relationship. It's like a crash car. It's only a bargain. But mediation, it's necessary to resolve all the emotion that exists. And it's like a family. Family business is exactly like a family. All the emotion there are there. There is, in Brazil, all the mediation are ad hoc, not in the chamber, as I think it happens in the world. And there is few statistics about mediation. But there are some surveys that show that in conflicts take an average of 7 years to the conflict be resolved. In arbitration, 4 years, and the mediation, 7 months. And about costs, in judiciary, the conflict costs 10 coins, for example. In arbitration, costs 7 coins, and the mediation, 4 coins. That's why is very easy and is more used, as being used more the mediation. And the moment, and where can business mediation can occur? In the company and with other company, with collaborators. The main conflicts that I have faced are conflicts among the partners, among succession, among management, including dividend distribution, and investment to decide where to invest. And the labor and the organizational conflicts. Even inside the company, there is many conflicts among the departments. And in companies that are in the industry, service, in the agribusiness sector, the most common conflicts are about suppliers and competition. With the government, all instances of the government, federal, state, and municipalities, and the regulatory bodies, we have the conflicts about tax debt and the concession agreement. In the environment, neighborhood conflicts, they have community damage. And nowadays, we are seeing more judicial and extrajudicial recovery after the pandemic time. And I am seeing that mediation is very good to resolve this problem faster and with less cost involved lenders and debtors. And how can mediation evolve? By becoming more well-known, arbitration in Brazil has been around 25 years, while mediation for 8 years only. Popularizing this instrument, as has happened, for example, in Argentina and Italy, there is the opt-out clause because they are obliged to go to the mediation before to go to the court. In Brazil, it's different. We have the opt-in clause. Only when the action arrives in the court, the judge can decide if they send this action to mediation. And we need to include mediation as part of the curriculum in colleges from the beginning of the course and in the law course. In Brazil, mediation, the discipline in mediation is obliged to be in the law course. But many courses teach mediation only in the last semester of the course, after 8 years teaching litigation. And it's so difficult to the lawyers understand really deeply what is mediation.
But Ivone, what you missed out, that last one, that point that you were supposed to write, by creating a mediation circle under the World Mediation Circle. I think that is the important one that needs to be put out. It's okay, one. It's okay. One, please carry on.
Okay. And I would say that, but I have an optimistic vision about the evolution of mediation in Brazil and in other countries. What I see is that lawyers are more and more cooperative in mediation. They help very much. And large companies are using more mediation because it is faster, is less expensive, and they conserve more the relationship. And of course, the small and medium-sized company, as usual, they follow the footsteps of the large companies. I think that this is very auspicious to Brazil. I really believe that in little time, mediation will be spread out in all the parts of economy. Then I end here my presentation, and I would like to say that I have a great thanks for having here, and here I put my email and my phone number to contact me if you want.
Oh,
thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Ivone. It was really nice. And like, of course, Michael has just come in. Let me tell him that Ivone gave her presentation in Portuguese earlier, but it was so nice because she had her slides in English. So I told her she must do it in English also. And of course, we'll say hi to you and Laurie a little later. Laurie will get you in a little later. First, we have to ask Ivone, in the Portuguese session, what I was saying was that every family business should have a family mediator. In general, every family should have a family mediator. You have family doctors. Why can't you have family mediators? Always available on a call. And there are more conflicts than diseases in families. So I think we have to work on that. And Rosalia had a smile when you were talking about the Myers-Briggs thing. Anything that you wanted to say, Rosalia?
Well, the reason why I had a smile was because when I, basically what I noticed, Ivone, in your presentation is we use similar, let's just say we use Myers-Briggs. When I was talking about assessing the participants for mediation, okay, when we have participants coming in, to see if they're ready for facilitated dialogue or mediation, we give training first. A lot of times we realize that they need training in communication, and part of our communication training is what we call social styles, and we use a TKI Myers-Briggs also. I'm talking about workplace dispute resolution. A lot of the issues that you raised are also mirrored in workplace dispute resolution. As I know you're speaking of family businesses, but they would be considered workplace dispute. So that's why I had a smile, because it pretty much, I can see that, in your assessment, like there's a lack of communication. Perhaps there might be a need to skill up a little bit, so before they can actually go into a dialogue to explain how people communicate and to understand each other, so that they can come in with a more open mind and during the dialogue. So that's why I had a smile. So it's very well presented. Thank you very much for sharing that with us.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. But yes, I agree with you. And I am saying that you know so much about this. Thank you for teaching us.
So thank you, Ivone. Really nice. Of course, thank you for giving this presentation in English also. Please join other sessions. Please join Michael's session. I'll introduce you after I shut your session and start his session, because it is time for his session. So thank you very much, Ivone. And of course, Rosalia will be part of it.
For all.
And let me say, Rosalia got more time to speak in your session than she got in her own session. So